GMO Tuesday. GMO Tuesday. 9/12. Run a little late today. A little late. Had to take care of some legal stuff. Many of you know I do property preservation. I have a very, very, very impact. I have some serious information for everybody in the industry. Be sure to tune in to Preservation Thursday if you are in the preservation industry and you follow what's going on there. Of course, Foothill Feed and Mercantile. Foothill Feed and Mercantile. Organic feed, non-GMO food for the critters. You want them healthy too. You got to have them healthy. Hey, we have, once again, there's like 7 schools involved here. Monsanto and their collusion. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. But first, the guest of our show, of course. One more week. This makes 7. Makes 7. 7 weeks. Let's talk about organic packaging for just a minute. You see what it says, Wilcox Organic. And this has been certified by Oregon Tilth. Certified organic by Oregon Tilth. And look at the packaging. As I said, these were purchased in January, ladies and gentlemen. January. Campbell's, first soup company, first food company, break from the GMA, started labeling their foods right here on the back. Partially produced with genetic engineering. For information about GMO ingredients, visit www.what'sinmyfood.com. I can only imagine it's a propaganda website. And we'll get to that in just a minute too, ladies and gentlemen. Last week we made Libby's on the label. You will love it on your table. Yes, we did as a kid. We loved the corn. We loved the Green Giant. We loved all that stuff. But you know what? All they were using as a preservative back then was sodium bicarbonate. A little bit of salt. You know, they weren't using all this stuff. On this label it says gluten-free, lactose-free, vegan, all-natural fruit, good source of vitamin C. That's what all those labels are. In the ingredients, it says papaya chunks, red and yellow, water, sugar, passion fruit juice, citric acid, calcium chloride. Those last 2 act as a preservative. What they don't tell us is where the papaya comes from and where that sugar is coming from. GMO sugar is another product, ladies and gentlemen. GMO sugar. This is why food labeling is so important. Let's look at these. Hey, and we're getting both sectors here from Polar. Both sectors. I got peach slices, Dranzo e Rabanadadas. Rabanadadas, huh? I guess that's sliced. Dranzo must be the peaches. So it would actually be sliced peaches in Spanish. So bad labeling right there already. That's what the Spanish guy told me. But it says pure sugar added. No high fructose corn syrup. Non-GMO. I don't see where it says it's certified, and I'll stick this link in the description too, ladies and gentlemen. It is distributed by NW Polar Foods out of Norwalk, www.mwpolar.com, and you can get all kinds of information from there. Let's see what the ingredients say. Yellow clean peaches, water, sugar, Brix level 14-17% citric acid, vitamin C. You're putting vitamin C in the food? When I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of fortified, energized foods. We got our vitamins, we got our minerals out of the food. Now, Why do I want to talk about labeling? Because we're hearing right now a lot of scuttlebutt. People like Kid Rock. Kid Rock. I'm not a big fan of Kid Rock. His entertainment style doesn't appeal to me in that respect. But I kind of like what I'm hearing from the guy. He's challenging. Debbie, let me stab my constituents in the back, take $15,000 from Monsanto and give everybody a QR code, blow smoke up their butt and tell them it's a food labeling bill. Stab in now. That's right, he's challenging Debbie. Stab in now. My question, Kid Rock, you going to work on the food labeling issue? You going to try to undo some of the mess your competitor for that position has created for everybody in the world, on the planet? She sold out. Whom do your elected officials represent, ladies and gentlemen? Whom do they represent? Do they represent you? Do they have your best interest, or are they lining their pockets? Here's what I find refreshing about Kid Rock. I don't think we're going to be saying Senator Kid Rock. Hey, Senator Rock. I believe that's a stage name, a persona there. But the fact remains that he has enough money to finance his own stuff. He can't be bought. He's in that position where you're not buying him. Got to look at him. Any politician that can be bought, Monsanto's in the background somewhere. Agrochemical companies, Dow, all these chemical companies in the background somewhere. And they started back in 1917. Let it sink in. 1917. John Queenie. Little touchy feel good story. Sells his stake in a soda pop company and invests in himself. The great American dream. Great American dream. Invest in yourself. Become a business person. Great American dream. That's what everybody comes here for. That's what they say. The opportunities. John Queenie makes saccharin. He was a chemist. John Queenie, a chemist, made saccharin. Now I want you to stop and think for just a minute. You don't think for 1 second he didn't know what he made? You don't think for one split iota of a second that man did not know what he made? No? Then why would he ask the government to sue him over the Food Safety Act for saccharin? I just got off the phone with an attorney this morning, and he agrees with me. Monsanto should have never been sued. Coca-Cola should have been sued. And hey, Center for Food Safety, your lawyers, why haven't you started suing companies for putting poison in the food? Putting poison in the food. They're saying something natural. Does it got glyphosate in it? It's not natural. It's a chemical. When you see something labeled natural, look at the ingredients, ladies and gentlemen. You start seeing words you need a PhD to pronounce. That ain't natural. That ain't natural. Nothing comes out of the ground spelled like that. For crying out loud. For crying out loud. The point I'm trying to make here, ladies and gentlemen, food labeling has become very deceptive. Now, for a good thing. GMO verified, non-GMO verified, ladies and gentlemen. Cantina dippers. As you can see, the bag is empty and half my sriracha's gone. That's how good they were. That's how good they were. Very good corn chip, pepper lovers. That's the corn chip. You got salsa going on, and they're like them little scoop things that Tostitas does. Way better. They are way better. They are made with whole ground white corn, sunflower oil or safflower oil, and sea salt. Basic ingredients. Why do we need all the crap in our corn chips? We don't. We don't. They're corn chips, for crying out loud. They're not corn chemical chips, are they? They don't say corn chemical on them. They say corn. Corn. Thin and crispy corn. But look at that. Isn't that a pretty picture right there? That just... You a Pico de Gallo fan? You got to have a spoon. You got to have a spoon. These are awesome. Awesome chips. And they're non-GMO corn. White corn chips. White corn chips. Safflower. and corn oil, ladies and gentlemen. No big deal. No big deal. Nothing. I ate them fast. They were good. And you know what? They only cost, I think they got like a $3.29. They're very competitive price with all the other stuff. Very competitive price.
New message is received from +1-775-221-5698.
I guess my phone decides it wants to work right now. My phone, I've been having problems. I've been trying to call. It's not that I'm ignoring nobody. Phone works when it wants to. It has a mind of its own. Don't know what's going on. Hey, you want to know who's not deceptive? Not deceptive? That MDG blogger in the Keystone State. MDG blogger. I got a confession. I've been flirting with her and Paula's Healthy Living. Go check the website out. I put this dish I came up with off the hook. Take some chicken breasts, get them fingered out. You know, they make the tenders or whatever you want to call them. You know, chicken fingers. Chicken have feet. They don't have fingers. But anyways, you cut the breast up into strips. I pounded them out. Sliced garlic. Ever so thin. Translucent thin. Paper thin. You slice your garlic. Roll it up in there with lemon basil. And, of course, I use the flowers on the stuff for that explosion of flavor. But you roll it up in there. Some potatoes, little olive oil. Now the potatoes had rosemary, chamaya chilies, and garlic on them. Spaghetti squash, just steamed. Just steamed. That's all you need to do with it. Just steam it. And then, of course, the chicken, roll them up. So when you cut them, you get the colorful little thing, and you can lay them on the bed, the bed of spaghetti squash. But the chicken and the potatoes, I used a burgundy wine barrel oak chip to smoke them. Ladies, it's a good thing you weren't here because you would have fallen in love. That's how good it was. It was that good. I mean, unfortunate for me you weren't here, but it was that good. You got to try it sometime. You got to try it sometime. It was really good. Paula's Healthy Living. Paula's Healthy Living. Good stuff. MDG blogger. Good stuff over there on her website. And of course, don't forget Kevin at Epic Gardening. He got a free book right now going on. Grow herbs year round. I already do. I got his book anyways. It was free. How do you say no to a free book that tells you how to make food and how to make your food healthy and good? Now, we have to talk about the bad. The real bad. Not just Debbie stabbing now. Not just her. Now we have academia. In one of the many lawsuits going on in the organic food industry, this action has been brought by the Organic Consumers Association. And of course, they made a real negative connotation in the introduction of the who's suing and the scrappy, scurvy, try to make the organization sound like they're bad. When the reality is, Ronnie Cummins is kind of busting his butt to bring to light and expose a wrong. And that's what it is. Monsanto has leaned on professors. And make no mistake about it, they're being compensated. This is all part of the propaganda machine. Oh, speaking of propaganda machine, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of propaganda machine, speaking of the Monsanto propaganda machine, 7 Monsanto employees looking at my profile this week. 7. 6 last week, 7 this week. And guess what? In my posts, in my blogs, the MPM members are starting to invade, starting to come in and put their propaganda. Oh, you should look at this instead so you understand. Hey, I already understand. I asked a gentleman yesterday, and he's not, and I want you to think Forrest Gump for just a minute when I talk about this gentleman. He's got a heart of gold. He's got a heart as big as the state of California. Very good, decent guy. He just has a very low IQ. It's around 85, 86, 87, something like that. But I asked this guy, I said, well, let me ask you something, man. I go, just out of curiosity, I go, would you like poison in your food? He goes, why do I want poison in my food? I don't want to be poisoned. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a PhD. It doesn't take any kind of scientific degree to understand the concept. I do not want poison in my food. Ask your neighbor. Ask anybody. Just go ask that question. Just randomly ask 5 people today. Would you like poison in your food? See what they say. See what they say. But Monsanto, how does Monsanto do this? I want you guys to think about this for a minute, because you're paying. If you're paying for your child to go to one of these institutions, they're being taught Monsanto science. Harvard's Kennedy School, a gentleman named Juma, Juma, authored stuff for the Genetic Literacy Project. Of course, we know the Genetic Literacy Project is a Monsanto front. It's a Monsanto front to help propagate the propaganda. Peter Phillips out of Canada, the University in Saskatchewan. Davis Shaw, Mississippi State, out of Cornell. And of course, a student, Tony Shelton, came out of Cornell, but Robert was the kid that brought that issue to light and made a big production at Cornell with his activism, as they called it. And of course, we all know Folta out of Florida. And then we have Condoleezza Rice and Hillary Clinton and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia involved in this. Tell me she's not in bed with the enemy. Karen Batra from Illinois. Karen Batra was the one that orchestrated some stuff between one of the academic institutions in Saudi Arabia and Condoleezza Rice and Hillary Clinton. Now, how do we forget Nina Fedorov from Penn State? I'm sorry, it was Nina Fedorov from Penn State that orchestrated the Rice-Clinton. Karen Batra, and then out of Illinois, Bruce Cassy, Chassy. All these people, the emails, description in the link in the description, ladies and gentlemen, to this article, where they have emails going back and forth between these people and a member of Monsanto. How Sachs is the member of Monsanto that basically gives these professors the talking points to write their articles about. That's not science. That's science. That's not science. That's Monsanto propaganda. But that, ladies and gentlemen, started back in 1917 when John Queeny asked the United States government, sue me, give me the sue me blues. I got the sue you blues. Give them to me. I made saccharin. Sue me. For what? He made a product, he sold a product. That's what businesses do. I don't see a thing wrong with that. What I see wrong, and where I see the government screwed up and allowed Monsanto to lay the groundwork, to create a blueprint for every chemical company in the industry. Because think about what happens after 1928. John Queeny's kid takes over the company, DDT. And guess what the biggest propaganda game we got given to us by DuPont, Dow Chemical, and William Randolph Hearst. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was shortly after that we were given Reefer Madness. The biggest propaganda hoax on a country and a society and a civilization ever. I'm sorry. I have been smoking marijuana since I was 18 years old, and I have never wanted to go do heroin. But that's what they told us. And of course they used the racial element in there, because back in the 30s, it was still pretty kind of ugly in certain parts of the country. And they were able to use that to scare people and frighten people. And then, of course, we had Tricky Dicky get pissed at John Lennon. I don't want him to be a citizen. We're going to make marijuana a Schedule I narcotic. I have never, and trust me when I say smoked here and there. I smoked a little bit of weed in my time, ladies and gentlemen. I've never hallucinated on that stuff, so I don't know how it's classified as a hallucinogen, number one. I have no clue how any of this came about, but I will tell you this right now. It came about because of bad propaganda science from the chemical companies. And, oh, by the way, William Randolph Hearst, he's got a patent for wood pulp paper. Hemp was the product at the time. That was the material. Hemp. And, oh, we had nylon rope. Hemp is something I'm starting to look very seriously into just because of what it has, and I can grow stuff. I can grow stuff, and hemp grows anywhere. It's kind of like a weed. It is in the cannabis phylum or family, or however they have all these names, and they're all in Latin and stuff, and you have a phylum and a family and an order and all that kind of stuff in your plants and animal categories. But that was how marijuana became illegal, through propaganda. How are GMOs becoming legal? Through propaganda. They applied those same techniques to get nylon rope on the market and hemp rope out of the market as they're applying now. They start by dumbing everybody down. They use what Saul Alinsky says to do, his techniques. Oh, let's dumb them down. Let's do that. Let's tell them how stupid they are. They don't know this. They don't know that. We have this in the back room. So they come out and they play this game. They treat people just like Hillary treated a rape victim of her husband. That is how they treat people in social media. Go in these threads and look at the tag teaming going on, and look at the poppycock nonsense for a screen name like GMO Roberts. Oh, I service 40,000 acres of land. Yeah, you can't pull weeds by hand. That's what he told me. So when I confronted him about that, what are you growing on your 40,000 acres? Oh, no, I just service the land. He started to change his tune. Why won't you come out with your real name? Oh, I can't do that. People would want to come bomb my house. Well, you're lying to them. I might want to slap your face too. Just that simple. But none of them use their real names. They run around and they tag team argument, and they use the same, and their arguments are same old time. Oh, I see you're using that article. Well, the article's the truth. Oh, I see you're saying this, but the comment is the truth. Oh, I see you're spreading disinformation, but the disinformation is the truth, and the disinformation is coming out of their mouth. So they come in and attack you on what you're saying is wrong. Then they attack your intelligence. Then they tell you you're stupid. Then they tell you you're a shill, and they try to run you in a circle, and they tag team you 4 or 5 people on one comment. You can't tell me these people are not paid to sit at home on their butt and do propaganda. I bet if we start chasing IP addresses, we find they all go back to Monsanto. I bet we all find it. Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. You know how that works, ladies and gentlemen. You got to follow the money. But there we have it. I have to be a little short today. Before I get out of here, farmers markets are closing up. In the link, Lake Tahoe farmers markets have closed. Of course, they're up at a 7,000-foot elevation, so their evenings are probably down in the 50s by now. So it's a little cooler up there at Lake Tahoe. But in the description, get the link. Bentley grass-fed beef. Everything. Let me see if I can pull something up here. But they have a delivery program in the wintertime. So you can still get organic, produced, farmers market quality produce and food delivered to your door. Come on, you can't beat that with a stick. Get out of town. Get out of town. Lake Tahoe Markets. www.laketahoemarkets.com. Get a hold of Steve. He will get you squared away if you're in the Lake Tahoe area up there. There's a lot of area up there at Lake Tahoe. Kings Beach, Incline Village, Myers, Emerald Bay. There are all kinds of places up there at Lake Tahoe. But check that out. And of course, hello to MDG blogger Paula Meyer. Cutie pies. Cutie pies. If you didn't catch the show, it's on the TuneIn app. Bondi Radio. Sheena Alexandra. I'm gonna tease her and send her my food. I'm gonna drive her nuts because she's down under. Down under. Bondi Radio. Friday nights, ladies and gentlemen, 6 to 9 p.m. on that Pacific Standard Time. You can catch their wellness radio show. Really, really good, too. I found it very informative. Got good guests on there. You can get it on the TuneIn app on any device. TuneIn app, you can get any radio station around the country. I was listening to baseball the other day. I didn't know I could do that. I finally found a baseball. I finally found a way to listen to my Oakland A's. My Oakland A's sweep in Houston. I sure hope we have a good year next year. I sure hope we have a good next year. Next year is a good year. And speaking of good, you know what I say. You know what I say. It's time to go. You like what you hear? Give us a thumb up. Subscribe to the station. You got information? Let me, before I get out of here, let me promo Preservation Thursday. I just got something in. FEMA. We're going to talk about FEMA saying no to backfeeding. FEMA saying no to the backfeeding issue in property preservation. Apparently there's some bad depositions in the AMS, MCS issue. If you're doing that, shame on you. You're no better than them. Don't be lying. Don't be lying. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to this stuff, tell the truth. You don't have to remember anything. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Be another hearing September 27th on the FAS issue. You ready for this? And I'll touch on this again. I will touch on this again of how important it is to pay yourself, because some of the people in the FAS lawsuits are getting up to $200,000 awarded in back pay. Pay yourself. I'm not so stupid anymore. At least that's what I was told this morning. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. MDG blogger, Paula's Healthy Living, Epic Gardening. Kevin, how you doing, buddy? And be sure to tune in. Be sure to tune in. Thursday, Preservation Thursday. We're going to have some hot stuff. I got a full show coming up, and it's going to be great. You're not going to want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you like what you hear, subscribe to the station. Give us a thumbs up. If you can help with the donation, sure could use them. And we'll talk a little bit as we get into next week about the new project getting ready to jump off for me and what I'm getting ready to do. So stay tuned. You're going to love what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to have a lot of fun doing it too. I know that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.